Hey, y'all. What's up? So I want to talk about something that happened to me this weekend when I went to see a show at the Alliance Theater. It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Now, one of my favorite things about the season is the music. Yeah, Christmas. It's the music is just wonderful. It really, really is. And this weekend, I got to see a fantastic show at the Alliance Theater. I saw their Christmas Carol. It is running now through December 24th. Please, I encourage you to go see it. I think it's a fantastic show. You know, I don't know if many of you know this, but I teach at the Alliance. So if you're ever interested in coming and taking some of my dance classes at the Alliance, my wife also teaches acting, singing at the Alliance. My buddy Josh teaches an on-camera class. What's up, Josh? Josh Price, everybody. So we had this sort of teachers soiree on the third floor where we had a beer or two and a little snack, and then we went downstairs and we got complimentary tickets, being teaching artists, to see A Christmas Carol. And my wife said, "I want to see Christmas Carol." And look, I'm gonna be honest here, y'all. I was a little like, oh boy, okay, here we go. Am I gonna take a nap during this show? And don't get me wrong, I love theater. Did plenty of it in my time. I even performed on the Alliance stage long ago. But, yeah, I went in with it sort of in my brain kind of going, oh, is this going to be any good? And also, oh, we know this story already. How many times can we watch reiterations of this same classic tale? But once a year, we pull it out. We trot it out, right? So anyway, I must say this. Bravo, bravi to everybody involved in A Christmas Carol at the Alliance. I had a really, really good time. I just enjoyed the performances. I loved the set. I loved the design of the whole thing. The puppetry was wonderful. I had such a good time, and it was such an interesting telling of the story. It's not the version you might be thinking of, right? There is a really interesting sort of, I don't want to say twist, but there are iterations that accent different parts of the story, which I found just wonderful. The actors, congratulations and bravi to the actors, and the musicians and stage management. And you know what? I want to say this to the sign interpreters, whoever you are. I wish I had your names, and I likely could find them somewhere at the Alliance. Also, bravi, because y'all did just a wonderful job. And from time to time, I would just watch the sign interpreters. And, it's a great show. Let me tell you something I was thinking about. This. I thought a sign language interpreter is not only signing during the show, but is also listening, right? All throughout the show, they have to be listening to what is being said currently while signing what they heard 3 or 4 seconds ago. There's almost like a delay, but just excellent. Really, thank you, and really, really great work. I commend your work. I watched you probably as much as I watched the show, and I love that service is offered. So anyway, and it's a performance. It really is. It's a performance of the piece itself by the sign interpreters. But I had a wonderful time. The performances, the guy playing Scrooge was excellent. And just some notable shout-outs here. I want to give some shout-outs to the cast. Thomas Neil Antoine Gant, or is it Gaunt? Forgive me if I butchered that. But as Fezziwig, just fantastic. And a lot of these actors played multiple parts. All the actors were wonderful. But just some standout performances to me. I'm gonna say Brad Raymond. Brad Raymond as the Ghost of Christmas Present was wonderful, brought the humor. The Ghost of Christmas Present is my favorite. The Ghost of Christmas Present is always my favorite because there's such abundance and there's such happiness and there's such life, and it feels good to be with the Ghost of Christmas Present, even though in the story brings perhaps a sad turn to the tale. Anyway, I got to give a shout out to Asia Rogers. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly here, and forgive me if I'm messing it up. But she played Fan, and I thought you were just absolutely wonderful. And hey, shout out to my girl Lindsay Ricketson. Hey, Lindsay, what's up? I saw you up on that stage, and it made me so happy. As one of the carolers, it was just a wonderful performance. I just love the work that's being done at the Alliance. If you live in Atlanta, support the Alliance Theater, support your local musicians, support the Woodruff Art Center. If you are not from Atlanta, but you're visiting Atlanta, visit the High Museum, visit the Woodruff Art Center, see a show at the Alliance. The Alliance Theater is often a springboard for shows to go to Broadway. And so they'll come and try their shows out here. Also, the Alliance puts on original productions that are just meant for the audiences in Atlanta. So I encourage you to absolutely check it out. I had a really great time. The theater is wonderful. There's such a good thing going, and I love working there. I'm really excited to continue growing the classes there. Just something real quick I want to say here. To the family behind me, your kids were unruly and Dad was asleep through most of the show. Maybe if you can't keep your kids under control, the theater's not the place for you to go. Oh no. I had to wake Dad up cause he was snoring in the middle of the scene going on the stage. I said, dude, cut that out. Yeah, it's annoying, just sitting there. So if you have 3 kids who can't behave, maybe the theater's not the place for you, or don't have the kids. But you know why this story lives on every year? It's because, say it with me, wisdom. There is some wisdom in that show. You know, when Scrooge's wife is leaving him, she said, in learning how to count things, you've forgotten how to value them. Wonderful. And then later in the play, when Scrooge is jumping for joy, he says, you know, I'm looking for these things. I'm looking for these photographs, these old memories of mine, because they may hold no value, but they definitely have worth. Ooh! The humor of the Ghost of Christmas Present, I loved. And he said, what did he say? Listen, don't speak. And hey, that right there was, I guess, something I needed to hear. There's a lot in the play in the way of ideas and sentences and lines delivered by the actors that are pointed toward the human condition. And the spirit of charity, the spirit of giving, the spirit of community support. And, you know, I'm a little on the fence about, you know, using death as a frightening tool. I think as we grow, we're starting to see that death is less something to be afraid of. But obviously at the time that this was being written, Charles Dickens, right? It was, I'm sure death was all around. So still, the Ghost of Christmas Future was magnificent, a really beautiful and well-operated ghost. And let me tell you something. We've gotten into thinking that recordings of things are the actual thing. They're not. If you listen to a recording of your favorite song, you're listening to the past. You're listening to a recording of your favorite song. That's not actually the living song. The only way that you can really experience that living song is when music is played live, which is why live music will never die, no matter how much we record or how good our recording processes become. The same goes in movies and theater, right? You can watch a movie over and over and over again and love it every time. The timing will always be the same. It will not breathe. It will not grow and change. But theater is the old magic. Theater is where trickery can allow a halfway meeting point. It's not just a story shoved in your face, down your throat, CGI, and every wild explosion and all kinds of shit that you've never seen in your life. It's not like that. Puppets, shadows, cloaks, the changing of voices, the putting on of different costumes or masks, and then the audience gets to soften their eye. It's called the suspension of disbelief, is what we call it. And that is a community process. Theater has to be performed locally, because if you're going to see it, you can only see it live. And if you catch a recording, well, guess what? You're watching the past. So when it comes to theater, a living, breathing human is in front of you, giving energy to you. And as the audience, we give the energy back. I'm going to start talking more about this on the Soapbox. We're going to start talking more about the local music scene, the local performance scene, because I think localism is going to be a big part of our future. I listen to bands out in California and Seattle and New York and Brazil and bands from all over the world I listen to music from. But and all throughout time. I listen to plenty of musicians who are now dead, but you're listening to the past. So there's something beautiful that happens when you're a part of a story that's being told in your community, to your community, for your community, by your community. That's when magic starts to happen. And is there any greater time of year for magic than Halloween? Sure, Christmas. Yeah. I prefer Halloween myself because I like the darkness. I don't mind the dark, scary ghosts and ghouls, which is really great about old Dickens, Charles Dickens, right? Dickinson? No, Dickens. Is he put ghosts and specters and frightening things into the Christmas story. And then you get to not just feel like, oh, look how happy Christmas is. You get to be a little spooked. And I'll tell you, some of the stage tricks that they use, legit, the audience was like, I mean, there are some moments where even the screaming kids behind me who wouldn't shut the fuck up were sitting there and you could tell they got wrapped with attention. So it was fascinating. It's fascinating to witness the bending of energy that live performance, live music, and live theater can give us. So anyway, these are just some of my thoughts. I want to give a hearty shout out, congratulations to A Christmas Carol, the cast, the crew, the stage management, the people back behind the scenes that you don't see who really make the show run. The designers, the investors, Chris at the Alliance, Susan Booth, who I know helped sort of design this iteration. I really wish I could just shout out to everybody involved because I had the sign language interpreters, the ushers, the front of house. I had a really, really great time at the theater, and I want to see everything that happens at the Alliance. So if you're in Atlanta, see the show. If you're around Atlanta, come visit, see the show. If you got friends visiting Atlanta, tell them Carrie sent you. See the show. So and I'll just leave the cast with a little bit of fa la 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 la, fa la 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 la. Go see A Christmas Carol at the Alliance Theater, and if you don't like it, tough.